It is time to token max, fellas, because GitHub is moving to usage-based billing and consume GitHub AI credits, which remind me of Microsoft points from Xbox Live Arcade. Yeah, basically you're going to have to pay for token consumption whether you like it or not with GitHub Copilot. The entire industry is moving this way. So this video is going to explain why this is actually a good thing for you, the software developer, the software engineering practice, and probably the whole industry in general, believe it or not. So let's talk about token maxing, okay? From Meta to Salesforce, will the token maxing trend go beyond Silicon Valley? The AI gods spending as much as they can on AI tokens. Well, look at this guy. Singled out one engineer who'd spent more than $7,000 in AI tokens in a 2-week period, all right? So this guy is spending $14,000 a month on tokens on top of his salary. In the real world, this is going to be pretty crazy because of this. Let's assume you're spending $2,000 a month, okay? Not $14,000, just $2,000, okay? In Silicon Valley, this is only could be like 10%, but over in the UK or the Eurozone, yeah, this might be a third of the monthly salary of a software engineer. This changes the dynamics of this totally because tokens are the same price no matter where they are in the world. They don't get, unlike developer salaries or software engineering salaries, they don't get cheaper. And obviously the industry is addicted to sort of cheap, low-cost labour. Well, this will be possibly 100%, okay, of the software engineer's salary spent on tokens, which may or may not actually pay off. You might get nothing out of using them. So it's bad enough that software engineers are going to be expected to spend, almost maybe their entire salary on tokens to do their job. But arguably, I think this makes the profession join a series of high leverage professions, okay? We've got doctors, right? And they're so highly leveraged that they cause life or death, right? We know this. Pilots, life or death. Lawyers, it's jail or no jail, right? Free. They battle out there for your freedom, okay? Now, executives in companies make decisions, right? Really high stakes decisions that could basically cost everybody's jobs in the company, all right? Now, whether you want to spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 is one thing, okay? But the leverage of agentic coding is huge, okay? You can, in theory, create entire products in half a day. That's the argument, right? So my tenuous argument here is that agentic software engineers are actually going to be eventually, not today, but eventually, because of the leverage involved in doing this role, actually treated with the kid gloves required of these high level leveraged professions. Basically, a software engineer could do something so bad with this stuff that it could tank the entire company, right? They could make a decision in an afternoon. And let me show you an example of that. Here's an example of high leverage work, yeah? This poor little product manager decided to vibe code an addition to GitHub Copilot, all right? By enabling the git commit message to say co-authored by Copilot by default. This was a tiny bit of work used with GitHub Copilot, okay? But this caused so much reputational damage, I can't even begin to explain, right? Why in the world would he default this? Making this default behavior and not notifying users is crazy. Please revert until it actually works. There's a fantastic one here. Do they give you the lobotomy before your initial job orientation at Microsoft? So this is absolutely crushing the reputation of the entire team, the entire company, and everything, because somebody that should probably be nowhere near vibe coding software at all has been allowed to be. Pestilence. That's just incredible. It got so bad that Hacker News had a good go, right? And this poor guy, Dimitri, had to play entire Microsoft PR person by himself to fend off the baying hordes of orange website readers, right? Dangerous stuff. So here is what I think is going to happen, okay? This is what we used to do in our profession. We used to go to university, okay? Then we become a junior developer, get paid to code, right? Just a bit. You couldn't cause too much damage as a junior developer, right? And then you become a senior developer and make the big bucks. In theory, you might go from 0x developer to 1x developer to maybe a 5 to 10x developer. That was the dream, okay? You wouldn't get 10x a salary, but that was a dream. When you point this out, though, you used to pay for their education here. You get paid a little bit because you were just okay. And as a senior developer, in theory, ideally, you'd get paid a lot, right? This is because there was no leverage when you couldn't do the job at all, right? When you could only do the job a little bit, you had very low leverage. You couldn't damage anything with your software engineering, hopefully, right? And when you're a senior developer, you have high leverage. You could go and code some dangerous bugs straight into production systems. So you have to be paid a lot not to do this, all right? But I think this is what's going to happen going forward, okay? We're going to join the medical industry and other high leverage industries as something that is finally taken seriously, okay? Now, I think that a junior developer with these tools, with these power tools, is so dangerous that people will not be allowed to use them. And we're already seeing this with junior hiring being destroyed, basically. Nobody's hiring juniors, that's what people are saying. So what's going to happen is that junior developers are going to have to end up being like junior doctors, and they're going to have to pay for the experience of developing taste and doing the coding manually in the future. That's my view. But this is echoed, okay? This is echoed by geniuses. One of my favourite people in the world, Scott Hanselman, of course, actually co-wrote a paper on this. Without the hiring of early in career developers, the profession's talent pipeline will collapse. The result is a new incentive structure: hire seniors, automate juniors. We must keep hiring early in career developers, except that they initially reduce capacity. The path forward, it says, is a culture of preceptorship at scale. Well, this sounds like doctors in residence, doesn't it, from another profession that people actually treat seriously and potentially dangerously. Okay, so it's not just me. All right, actually smart people are onto this as well. So what does this mean for you? Here we go. Here's our non-technical boss. He's non-technical, comes to the office. I'm not technical. He wears the badge with pride. And he says, now my developers might spend thousands of dollars a month, but that's okay. They'll make loads of software. Let me double check who we have doing this. Okay. Right. So our little chap comes along. Here we go. He says, hey boss, I'll spend 100% of my salary on tokens. I promise I'll deliver. Okay. This guy, he's an intern, gets $2,000 a month, and he's going to spend $2,000 a month on tokens. Okay. And boss man thinks, I simply can't trust this guy. He might not deliver anything at all, but spend twice the money we're already paying him. He also might deliberately waste tokens to hurt us. Remember, if you pay people not enough money, they get disgruntled and they might literally go and try and ruin your business. Okay, you need to pay them enough not to do this. Right, that's the idea. Okay. Here comes our hero, Klein, the full stack developer. Do you remember him? It's been months since I've had him in a video. Okay. I'm an experienced dev that can be trusted to deliver. I'm a bit pricey, but you know I'm good, boss. And what does boss man say? He says, we pay you enough that we trust you won't waste the tokens. It's only a small percentage of what we pay you already. So he's way happier for the senior dev to use the tokens than the junior dev. Okay. But this is also about the price and the trust. And I think salaries on the whole will go up for the remaining developers who are actually trusted to use these high leverage tools. Remember, the cost of the tools stays consistent. So if you're going to everybody's going to use, say, $2,000 a month, right? I think the trust levels will force salaries to go up and be treated on equal footing. Okay. I think dev market roles, say in the UK or Australia or whatever, will reach American levels at some point, because you're spending the same amount of company cash, right? So ultimately, I think boot camps, remember boot camps? Yeah. Everybody's going to be going through a boot camp, because your value to an organization of using these AI tools without actually having any taste or being able to program stuff manually is zero. Okay. You cannot be trusted to use these power tools without it. So people are going to have to pay to get this experience. And that's where this junior developer preceptorship or in-house or residency training system is going to come in. But I think this is good because it's finally the maturity of the software engineering industry. Finally, Uncle Bob didn't have to get his disaster to get for people to actually care about this industry and the impact it can have. Was I totally wrong? Don't forget to leave a comment and I will reply. I love all your comments. Thank you for watching.